What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for joining me on this Thursday evening on what is, I guess, a little bit of a gloomer and doomer. You know, anticipation, optimism was with us. Market structure bill was going to go ahead of the banking committee, but it turns out we didn't get it. It was actually super early this morning. It was about 2 a.m., I think it was. It got announced that they weren't going to go ahead. So markets reacted accordingly is probably where I would be at. It tells us a couple of key things, which we'll break down in tonight's live stream. Dumperino, exactly. We'll definitely break down a couple of key things. What is going to come next? Is this the end of the relief rally? Was that it? Was as high as we're going 97 and a bit of change? Or is this just a reaction to the market structure bill? And is this being blown out of proportion? Now, there are some movers out there and some groovers out there. If you are part of the premium Discord, I actually did put a trade in there that I took earlier on. That was a nice trade as well. It was about 30%. So again, if you guys got involved in that, well done. If you didn't, you want to get access to it, grab a channel membership or become a subscriber here on TikTok. You get access to our premium Discord, trade bots, trade alerts, trade setups, you name it. We got it all for you in there. And it's literally like $7 a month. So if I was signed up to that, I already made enough to fund that for about 3 months. Just saying, all right? Don't have to. It's totally free to get involved if you just want to be part of the community. But yeah, nice little trade on Canton Network. I think I posted in there as well. So holding up pretty well. So we'll break some charts down. Let's talk about what that is. And then we're going to get into all of this stuff going on with Coinbase. So as always, smash up the like button to bring you all time high. If you haven't subscribed, highly recommend you subscribe to the channel. Every day we're grinding it out here. We're making sure you guys are plugged into this market. And so far, I'm going to go out on a whim here and probably be a little bit more overly bullish than I probably should be. But so far, I think we've pretty much nailed it. Moves, what's coming next, breakout patterns, like we have nailed it, at least in the last couple of weeks anyway. And I know that because I haven't had a losing trade yet in literally 2 weeks. And I don't trade a lot, by the way. I don't trade a lot, but I do know that we have literally killed the trades and we've absolutely killed a lot of the moves. So if you want to be a piece of that, grab the Discord membership. Definitely worth it. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. So let's take a look at the charts. I will reposition TikTok. I'm going to reposition you guys. Welcome in, everybody, by the way. I just saw a lot of people joining. So I think though, hold on a minute. I'm going to be really close, TikTok. I apologize. There we go. You guys, you need to just see it there. Okay, cool. You should be able to see that TikTok, which I think you guys can. Perfectamundo. So what do we get today then? Look, the bull market go on, no goes on is absolutely still with us. That hasn't changed and is still sat firmly at around 99,000 and then the upper range of around 101,000. So that hasn't changed at all. What we have seen though is a dump in the market. Now we say dump, it's down about 1.7%. What's interesting here, and you'll notice that I've taken these support lines and this kind of this kind of line here that we've been talking about as well. Wrathking, I assume that you're J-Rock. Go and launch Rabbit. Just launch it now. Just like, oh yeah, let's just launch it. Like, who cares? Like, no planning, no strategic thinking, just click bar. Come on, bro. Come on. You know that's not the way that we do things. Anyway, welcome in as always. Good to see you in the live stream. Appreciate it. Marky Mark, welcome in as well. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you. Basilio, welcome in. XRP is king. XRP's been doing okay today. Nothing super crazy, but yeah. Future, what's going on, buddy, as well? Welcome. Okay, so Bitcoin. You'll notice I took this broader support lines off here, which we kind of broke out from this move. So you sort of go, well, we're kind of done with this move now. This is it. This is the kind of bit we're interested in here. So what is coming next? What's the pattern that we're going to get played out? And more importantly, what we do. Now, interestingly enough, by the way, just dead quick, I actually have a new mouse pad coming from TikTok Shop. It'll be the first purchase I've got on TikTok Shop. It's kind of an affiliate thing. I'll show you guys. It's due like next couple of days, which has got loads of trade patterns on it. I think it's going to be cool. They're about £6 as well. So if it's any good, I'll show you guys. And if you want to grab one, I'll show you the link in the TikTok Shop and you can get over there as well, which is great. But anyway, what have we got playing out then here on the charts? And I think it's definitely worth thinking about. So we broke out from this support line and I'll show you something that I think is pretty interesting on a 4-hour candle. Remember, you're looking for momentum shifts. Broader, longer macro is going to be slower. It's going to move slower. Your direction of change is going to take longer. Shorter time frames gives you a bit of an idea as to maybe the trend, and that's probably what we're looking at. But exactly to Craig's point, what have you got here? The most obvious cup and handle pattern you've ever seen in your entire life. I mean, literally the most obvious cup and handle pattern in the planet. I mean, if you were looking for a textbook plan, that is exactly what you get, which then the debate is, well, okay, well, what's the bounce mark? What am I looking for as a potential move off line? So, you know, there's the cup. We always said this, then we come down and retest. So the question then is, what's the significance of this? If there is even any, you know, what's the significance of 97,800? Maybe. And then what happens next? Now, you'll see here that I put on this line here, 94,500 is where I've put the lower range, or where I expect BTC to probably come down and retest here. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I think this is going to play in on the 12-hour chart here. A, this is historically where we've seen significant elements of resistance. So you can see here the number of times we've hit it. So one here, or two here actually, that's 4. We also then hit it at the part of this move here where we got this wedge and was the kind of local high that we got, which obviously we broke through here and then retested this range as well. The other thing to note here, by the way, is if you take the fib from the old top arena and you bring it down to the bottom here, what do you see? It absolutely pretty much within about $5 lines up with the 382 Fibonacci, right? Pretty much within $5. It lines up perfectly here from the previous all-time high up here back in October. October the 26th, so late October when we had that sort of relief rally. It absolutely lines up perfectly here to the 382. So we know then this line here becomes very, very important and is definitely a line to watch based on this pattern that we've got playing out right now. Now, historically, what happens on a cup and handle is that it come back down, retest the key area of resistance or support, which, we know this to be incredibly strong in terms of resistance. What's interesting is when you start to go down to the lower time frames to even get a better idea of what's happening. So look at this. Here's the 20-day exponential moving average. Here's the perfect cup and handle pattern playing out. And we did actually come down and retest this range. So on the smaller candles, you say, well, hold on a minute. This was the cup and handle. This was the retest. So what's this? Is this the bearish continuation to the downside? Maybe this is it. I kind of don't think so. And the reason why I say that, look at the volume wicks here. Volume wicks super low. All right, super low, super boring. Not really anything of conviction. So this, for me, was just profit taking. This isn't really a move at all. The broader picture is exactly what we've got. Now, we can definitely see this low range. And equally, we could see the sort of upper, it's going to sound weird, the upper of this lower range here, which will be the 20-day exponential moving average, 94,815. So I think anything kind of 94 and a bit of change to probably 95.8, to 94.8 is kind of where we're looking for the potential bounce. So how do we look at this as a potential setup? And what are we looking for in terms of some of the breaks? Well, you would argue if we lose 94,500, we lose the 20-day exponential moving average, not only on the 4-hour, but on the 12-hour. So then you're looking for lower ranges. You'll be looking for 93, probably even the upper range of this orange box, which is why I've left it on here, which is key levels of resistance and key levels of price action. So this is kind of where we're going to look for. The catalyst, or how do you get there, is continuous noise about this Clarity Act, right? The market structure bill. Like, people are like, hold on a minute, I was like super macro bullish on this. It's going to be the best piece of legislation in the world. And all of a sudden everyone's like, oh no, this is like a proper piece of crap and we're not interested in it. Like, we need to that needs to dampen down, go back to the drawing board. We'll talk about it in a minute. But in terms of where the chart's set up, this is kind of what I'm looking for a BTC break. RSI MACD still trending in the right direction. And on the daily, we still look pretty bullish, if you ask me. It's a perfect move to the upside. Even if you were to say, well, what is the macro side of it from the local downtrend? It is, albeit very, very slow here, but this is still in a macro uptrend, all right? It is. It's still in a macro uptrend. You could argue and say, well, maybe you come off the top here, which would be a pretty heavy, descending triangle here. But what does that look like? Well, you'd expect a rejection off this range, which we've got, here on the daily. We absolutely have. We would then expect maybe to come down and retest the low range. So you got a couple of things. Me personally, anything above like 91, 92, 93K probably feels all right. I think if you lose anything below, then you might want to be thinking, not sure about this, not sure about where this market's going to go, and it may just give up the go and we end up going to Goblin Town and that's it, and thank you for playing. But, well, more of that in a different video, I think. In my opinion, anyway. Surely what's going on says, STETH WPLS on deck screen chart is insane. Do your own research. We'll take a look at it. Remind me in like 25 minutes and we'll take a look at it for sure. Okay, so given this, I'm not going to go through altcoins. They're all pretty much where you'd expect them to. ETH holding the 100-day exponential moving average. That's fine. Solana broke down below that support. I expect it to retest 137. If you're looking for, there is some really good long trade setups here, by the way, in my opinion. Remember, trade momentum, don't trade emotion. And again, if you're interested, by the way, link in the bio on to my Discord. We've got links in there to things like Bitunix. We've got $70 just for depositing over there. No KYC, definitely worth it. Lots of good stuff. Okay, but definitely some really important ones. A couple of ones I'm looking at as potential trades. You heard me talk about the H-bar trade. I did close that one out. That was another nice little gain. But another one I'm looking at is definitely Canton here off the 20-day exponential moving average. May give us a little bit as a potential move. XMR is coming back down. So I think we could even see XMR at around 630, depending on what the market does. Right now, key area for us. If XMR breaks this 675 and goes lower, you're probably going to be sort of talking around this sort of range here. 640 may chuck an opportunity in for a long, in my opinion. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. It's your money, but a couple of altcoins I'm looking at, low margin, low leverage, just scalp them, take, a little bit here, a little bit there. And if you get a bigger move, like something like Canton Network, then, you might get a bigger proportion. Am I going to be, dumping 50K into a trade? Absolutely not. I think the Canton one I did earlier was about, I don't know, about 12.50 or something like that. But it's pretty nice, 30% gain on that one. So anyway, all of that in the bio on Discord. So that's the charts. All right, that's kind of where we get to. We'll definitely get into a bit more charting if you guys want to look at it a bit more later on. I want to get into this Coinbase news, and I want to get into the whole narrative around why we've seen what we've seen today. And maybe try and dispel a couple of rumors, maybe try and dispel a couple of, concerning things maybe with it. But, I mean, ultimately, this is kind of what came out. The US Senate committee delayed the crypto bill after severe. This wasn't even like a little bit. This was extreme, disdain to this market structure bill. Like, Brian Armstrong, and we'll listen to an interview he did actually. He was like, nope, this is not good. And there's a number of reasons. We know that they're a big advocate for the banking system. I think what's interesting though here is, when you break it down, as much as Brian Armstrong is about supporting the crypto industry, and he's been a big supporter of this bill, he's equally a CEO of a company, right? So you have to bear that in mind. Like, he's not in this game to be like, I am for the people, I'm all about the crypto community, like I want the best for everybody. No. He wants his company to be possible, to be popular. And at the same time, if you can leverage the company with benefiting everybody, then fine. For example, does it really matter if you can't get yield on stablecoins on licensed brokers? Guess who licensed brokers are? Coinbase. Could you go and get it on DeFi yield farms? Of course you could. Like, could you get it in MetaMask? Yes. All right. So you've got to be just a little bit sensible here when we walk through some of this. Now, what's interesting is that they've pulled the bill, but his view was the Senate Banking Committee postpones it. The CEO criticized the bill's stablecoin rewards, and we'll touch on what that means in just a second. The bill defines crypto tokens as securities, commodities, and other. It's actually a brand new asset class, right? Which is interesting as well. And I, for the life of me, cannot remember what it was called. What is it called? It's what's it called? New. We talked about it yesterday. It's like a Selene or something. What's it called? Someone help me out. I can't think what it is. My mind has gone completely blank. I can't think what it is. All right, we'll have to find it somewhere else. If anyone can type it in the chat, that'd be great. What's going on, Holmes? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Thanks, man. Well, legend. Appreciate it. Too much trouble. Yeah, cheers for that. I can't remember. Anyway, all right. So look, the long-awaited bill is delayed. That's fine. Sorry, Mike. I lost track of what we were talking about. Oh, I was talking about there's a new classification for crypto under this bill, but I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what they're called. It's like Acyline or something like that. Is it ancillary? It might be ancillary assets. Maybe it was ancillary, not auxiliary. Ancillary. That feels like it's about right. So yeah, the legislation unveiled on Monday by the Senate Bank Committee would define when crypto tokens are securities, commodities, or fall into other categories. It was also clarify the jurisdiction of the US Securities and Exchange Commission over the sector. So there's a bit in here. We'll break it down a little bit more. Now, what is important here is old B.A. Armstrong here giving his view on CNBC. I'm not saying that they're the best news outlet in the world, but let's listen to what he had to say, and we can react. We can react after this as well. So, all right, Bri, take it away.
Well, I think the high-level principle here is that we can't really have banks come in and try to kill their competition at the expense of the American consumer, right? People in America should be able to earn more money on their money. I think stablecoins are an opportunity for banks. They should be able to build great product lines with this. It's an opportunity for crypto companies. Congress and the laws that get passed, they should really create a level playing field and say, this is allowed, this is not allowed. Now, all American companies, go compete, try to build the best products and services. That's great. What's not great is if the banks can put their thumb on the scale to try to kill some of their competition, and they only pay about, 14 basis points on the average savings account. Consumers should be able to earn 3.8% on their stablecoin rewards. And so we're going to keep fighting for our customers' rights and the 52 million Americans who use crypto every day.
I mean, what would you say to the argument that banks have put forward that because of the role they play in the economy, the loans that they make, if they do wind up seeing billions of dollars, as some have estimated would happen going from banks to stablecoin, they say that could have a big impact on the economy. What's your response to that?
Yeah, well, banks don't have a monopoly on lending money. Actually, crypto is doing quite well in this area as well, and crypto is a technology to update all parts of the financial system, whether it's lending, capital formation, et cetera. So I think banks do play an important role in the economy and making these loans. Crypto should be allowed to do similar types of activity. We're not engaged in fractional reserve lending. That's an important point, by the way, because the bank license, what that really allows you to do is fractional reserve. The banks don't have all of your money there. That's why there's so much oversight and you can have these runs on the bank. Stablecoins have 100% reserve, right? And they're all the assets now post-Genius are held in this short-term US Treasuries. So in my view, it's actually a safer place to store your money, and crypto companies should be allowed to compete and offer loans just like banks.
Pretty interesting. I'm sure you'll agree. Pretty interesting with all of that. So let's break it down. Let's talk a bit about what that actually means, and I guess get into the nuances of, well, what comes next, because that's kind of what we do. Glenn says, Cardano, thoughts long term? I mean, I was pretty bullish on Cardano. Probably still am a little bit, but yeah. So not the minute. Let's not the minute. Sorry, steak, buddy. God. Oh dear. What? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Aptos, good to see you, but yeah, I talked a little bit about what we've got going on. So, Zach, you're right. The banks don't want to lose control. The banks will lose. Think about it. How do banks make money? Banks make money with your money. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, which is essentially what stablecoin providers will do, but they'll be able to just generate less yield with less risk, other than the entire market going to, zero, which hopefully we don't get. But what were the kind of couple of things that he talked about that I think are worth pulling out and just talking about a little bit more detail? The restrictions on stablecoin rewards. This is the big one, right? Essentially, what we're going to be able to do, or what the idea would be, is that you'd have companies like Coinbase, potentially even further regulated banks, Ripple would spring to mind, in which you would store your stablecoins and then you would earn yield on those stablecoins. Now, you can do it at the minute. And I think this is the crux, by the way, of what Coinbase doesn't like. So at the minute, you can go and store Coinbase, you can go and store USDT, USDC on Coinbase, get 5% rewards, right? It's essentially like 5% interest on your money on that platform. With this passing, essentially Coinbase would lose that. And bear in mind, there's a chunk of change locked up on there. Similar would be with Ripple RLUSD and those kind of ideas that sit behind that. They wouldn't be able to do any kind of incentive programs is probably a good idea to put on there. And essentially, this would be a massive benefit to the banks. It means that you either take significant risk in order to try and make a trade or buy and hold or whatever, versus, well, I can just dump a whole chunk of change into a licensed broker, Coinbase, for example, and earn 5%. Now, does that mean that ETH staking would not be there? No, but you take risks when you go into that. Does it mean that things on MetaMask or in Phantom Wallet that you can't earn on it? No, it doesn't. These are specifically, which is why I say, look, he's right to a degree, but you have to understand he's also the CEO of a company that is currently doing this. So this would basically not be a thing. It would limit the de facto ban on tokenized equities, which essentially would mean that it'll restrict new tokenized stock or asset products that you better believe it, Coinbase want to launch. So that would be anything from, we're launching a new coin, we're launching a new blockchain, we're launching a new APR service, we're launching ETFs. Basically, and a lot of this isn't necessarily about us, the average investor, the person that wants to put some money in the market. This isn't about us. This is about the companies, institutions. This is what it's all about. Trust wallet, how I cash without exchange in hand. Don't think you can. Well, you'd have to go through some sort of like mixer, which would be MoonPay, maybe. I don't know fully, if I'm dead honest. I don't know. But I would just get an exchange, is my personal opinion, by the way. You can get some like Bitunix, for example. You don't need to KYC, and the max withdrawal limit's 200 Bitcoin. So, I mean, I don't know what your portfolio looks like, but There's a link in our Discord. Also, there's a link in the description on my bio as well if you want to check out Bitunix. So we also then see regulations of DeFi and privacy concerns, which essentially is why you're seeing massive runs on privacy coins. What it would mean, it was expand government access to financial data and constraint decentralized finance innovation. Now, if you're in the UK, this is already here, right? It's already here. And you need to be smart. And I'm literally trying to, at the minute, record and put together. It's kind of like a seminar, but it's like a PowerPoint presentation, which talks a little bit about how in the UK you can ensure you are efficient with your tax returns. You're efficient in paying tax. And I'm being very specific of the word efficient here. But at the same time, making sure that you are paying your fair share of taxes. All right. It's important. You should always pay taxes. So that's going to come. But essentially what it means is they would have way more oversight on your particular coins. And then the big one here, and I think it's a little bit of naivety and potentially oversight, but some people would argue and say, no, 2-bit, this is smart, is that it's the weakening in the Commodities Futures and Trading Commission. So everyone was like, hey, we want to go to the CFTC. They're way less strict than the SEC. There's way less oversight in it. All of that, right? But essentially, Coinbase are arguing that the draft could shift authority away from the CFTC and back toward the SEC, which at the minute you would go, well, that's fine. Paul Atkins, pro-crypto, owns crypto. But you got to think, where does that look in 9 months at the next midterms? What does it look like in 2 years? There's a potential, change at the White House. What do you mean tell? Where you live in the UK? Did they? No, Tony, they delayed it. They delayed it. This is what we're talking about now because of Coinbase. It freezes. What, on Bitunix? Then you'd have to put it through Coinbase, but you'd have to KYC on Coinbase. I mean, that's where I bring mine through Coinbase. Don't forget, if you're in UK, Top G just joined. What's going on, Andrew? I can't imagine if it was. Don't forget, you get £3,000 a year free, tax-free, from investments from crypto. And you can actually get 6 if you transfer 3,000 to, let's say, a partner, wife, husband, whatever it is that lives with you. So essentially you can get $6,000 tax-free a year. New financial year starts in obviously April. So you can run it through Coinbase if you don't go over $6,000 a year. Just FYI. All right. So they're kind of the 4 big points that came out of this. And I think the reason why they've delayed this, why they pulled it, is Coinbase was such a big part of it. They were like super, super big part of this. So the important bit here is, though, that this can be revised. They can change it. We'll see whether this moves. If anything, it probably gives a little bit more leverage to those that don't want it to come versus those that do want it to come as well. So worthwhile. I listened to JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon's earnings call. The profits that make on everyday people's money is sickening. Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, I haven't heard the call yet, but I did hear it. I did hear it. That came out, in fairness. And they are against this bill. They're against crypto. They're against. You think about like JP Morgan as an example. They've got a bit of a hold on this market. They've got a bit of a hold on it. So yeah. Which is kind of good. Jay says 88k CME gap, then bear market. All right, cool. Jose says he doesn't listen, bro. He's a permabull, just dreaming up bullish narratives. That's fine. I mean, you can have your opinion. I'm not going to hate on anyone. Like I said, it's a free market and you can absolutely have your opinion. All it tells me, though, is you don't watch the show enough. And you've definitely not been here since the start of the show. But anyway, good to see you, bud. Welcome in. I always like people's rather unscripted view, which is, like I said, everyone is entitled to their view, which is good. Someone will be right and someone will be wrong. I just hope it's not me. It's nothing to do with losing control. Banks own 0.1 for the $1, so that we're going to get returns for stablecoins. People put their money from their banks. And the banks, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you want to understand why the banking system works, fractionalized banking, Brian Armstrong talked a little bit like there, but fractionalized banking is the one thing to be very, very mindful of, because that's how they do it. And I think the worry here would be you end up with banks doing fractionalized banking that you can't get your money. And all of a sudden, if you could earn 5% with stable coins in a very much regulated environment, people are going to move away from the banks. Then you start looking at tokenization and everything gets a little bit wild on the back of that. So yeah, pretty interesting, I think, as that kind of plays through and more importantly, what it will look like. What is interesting, though, and probably worthwhile here, which says that the Senate has signaled progress on the crypto bill. So there was a desire that actually this could have gone through. Cynthia Loomis, who we obviously know is a big advocate for Bitcoin, says lawmakers are closer than ever, with everyone still negotiating towards a bipartisan deal. So I don't think we'll get much over the course of the next couple of weeks. It'll just be what it'll be. Stay close to it. It might change. We will have to see, in my opinion. Good. Alrighty. Let's see that. He buys, or his buys are all 80% down himself. He forgets everything he's recorded. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly where I am right now. My $100 investment into this market is worth 20. I'm absolutely devastated. And again, this is important, right? It's important. If that's what you think, that's fine. Like, that's absolutely fine. Like I said, you're entitled to your opinion, as am I. I'm entitled to my opinion that right now, if you've watched the show, you know where I sit right now. You absolutely know where I sit right now. So, yeah. Am I incredibly psycho bullish? No. All right. No, I'm not. Look, the people that matter know. That's all I would say. All right, good. So, stay close to this. We'll see what this comes. I wouldn't expect anything this week. Maybe end of the month. We might get a little bit of a revision on the back of it. We'll see what happens with Coinbase. But I don't foresee anything super crazy coming out just yet. All right? That's kind of my view here. What is interesting, jobless claims came in lower than expected, but still high. This was kind of positive news, although it didn't really do much with the market. We saw some real volatility action in BTC. If you look at it here on the 30-minute, it was pretty wild at US opening. So you can see here, look, this is US opening here, 2 o'clock, 2:30. So we rallied into US open. This is the move that we sort of got late last night with that big kind of push up as we went live. We got the rally into US open, which we then saw its dump all the way down to around 95.5. Wick back up as a bit of that data started to drop. And then obviously then we've sort of just fallen off a cliff a little bit. So it is true. It is true. It's true. I saw when you told people you were DCing into alts, you're well down. Yeah. Honestly, Jose, that's it. I'm done talking about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's so fine. If it makes you sleep better at night, then yeah, I'm 80% down in my portfolio and I'm absolutely devastated. And I'm struggling to sleep on a night. I'm struggling. But, thanks for reminding me. It's really good. It's all in the script. Another delay. Well, Andrew, you're absolutely right. I think so as well. Loomis is a Bitcoin maxi. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah. All right, good. So that's where we sit with this one. So we will see. Again, I don't profess to get anything new or whether it comes in. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it'll just get delayed. It'll work back through. It'll probably have to go through Congress and all that kind of stuff. But hey, we'll see. By the way, 21:21 here in the UK. So that means hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Welcome in. Don't forget, join our totally free Discord if you want to get a little bit more access to the best community in the planet. Jump in there. Wayne, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. 2-bit. It always makes them bite when they say how their views and comments make you money. Use it. It's fine. Honestly, it's fine. I'm so cool with it. Like I said, this is where I get to. People are 100% entitled to an opinion. And if people think I'm 80% down, then fine. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I'm going to sit here and lie and be like, have I got positions that are underwater? Yes, 100%. 100%. And those people that sit there and go, absolutely nailed the trade. Like, they're probably lying, but I'm cool with it. I'll own where I'm at. Too much negativity in the space. I'm bullish on altcoins. Professor Bold. Love it. Love the name as well, by the way. Anything important tomorrow? No. I don't think so, actually. It's a pretty quiet week. It's a pretty quiet week. What's interesting is it's been a proper nothing burger week. What was meant to be one of the biggest weeks in the crypto market. Think about it. We were meant to get Trump tariff views. We were meant to get market structure bill, and it just nothing's happened. It's just like, oh, right, okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. Jay, time to be realistic, but the cycle is over. And I absolutely believe that could be the case, by the way. This is the thing, right? This is where I think people get a little bit hung up on life, because I will always sit on the bullish side of life. Always, right? I'm going to get up and I'm going to be happy with life. I'm not going to sit on the sad side. I'm always going to feel like things can be better than worse, right? That's just me. It's how I've been brought up. It's what happens when you live in God's own country, the best place in the world. I'll always be bullish, right? Whether it's life, whether it's the weather, whether it's whatever I'm doing, right? Doesn't mean I'm not sensible, though. So I absolutely agree. And that's why we have on our charts the bull market go on or go zone. At this minute, where am I sitting? I am long-term at this moment in time bearish, because we haven't hit any indicators I'm looking at that are going to tell me that the market's about to reverse. The bull market go or no go zone is 99,000 up to 101. That's what we said at the start of the stream. If we break 99, retest 100, break with volume support to the upside, I will flip short-term bullish. 100%. It's breaking the areas I need it to. As it stands right now, we're not. So I am, and I've said this in a number of live streams, I am still bearish. I am, right? Markets can go up. Doesn't mean we can't make some trades. Doesn't mean we can't make any money. Doesn't mean you can't buy low and sell high, right? None of that. The fact of the matter is we haven't hit any of my key levels that I've been talking about. I don't even know why I'm validating myself here. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so I agree with you, Jay. I agree with you. Am I super long-term bullish? 100%. 100%. Do I think Bitcoin gets to 1 million at some point in the next 20 years? Of course I do. Do I think it goes to 1 million tomorrow? No. So yeah, so that's where we are. Right, let's move on. Otherwise, we're just going to get hung up on going around in circles and both agree on the same point. So yeah, so we were talking about this. Right, US inflation. It's down again. Interesting. Now, this is true inflation, but it's technically a slightly better indicator. 1.7%, right? So this is coming down. This is why you're getting such a demand from Trump to try and get these interest rates moving, try and get the Fed to come down. And we were talking about this yesterday on the TikTok Live. Vern and I and Mr. Non-Fungible joined us. The Attorney General that's going after him, Janine Pirro, I think her name is, who is was a Fox News anchor. Apparently he's been investigating Jerome Powell since November. I mean, it's pretty wild. $1 billion of misplaced funds. So the whole Jerome Powell thing's actually turned out to be pretty interesting. But whether he does anything, this is obviously where we sit right now. So even though inflation's coming down, I actually posted a tweet about this. I don't know if you guys saw it. Because you have to get your heads around the fact that we aren't. Oh, that was that trade. Look, 30% nearly on Canton. Yeah, here we go. So I posted this out. It said it's a good, bad story. Modern economic data. Jobless claims was a beat. Continuing jobless claims beat. Philly Fed Factory Index beat. The New York Fed Factory Index good. US economic growth continues to defy expectations. No rate cuts. All right, because the markets are doing well. Labor's doing well. Jobless claims is less. So, you know, get your heads out of this. And we're probably not, which is probably why Trump wants Powell out, because if you got like Kevin Hassett in there or Stephen Mirren, like they would just be like, yeet, 0.5% straight off it. Like they just, I mean, Stephen Mirren was pretty balanced, but yeah, I mean, they would cut rates. And I think it would be the most insane thing if they cut rates in January. I don't see it at all. I really don't see it at all, but who knows? Like crazy things have happened, isn't there, in the past? So worth noting. Okay, good. 2-bit today. I think the Clarity Act will pass before midterms. I think he has to get it. He has to get it. Polar bear signal indicating or what's going next? Polar bear signal? What the hell is a polar bear signal? Always sit on bullish side of life. 100%, Wayne. 100%. Always worthwhile, in my opinion. Always worthwhile. Like I said, I'd rather get up every morning and have a smile on my face than get up every morning and feel sad, right? Can't be bothered with it. It drags you down. I read a book to my kids, right? And it's called The Wobbler. And it's all down to somebody who screams and shouts and they get this big cloud above their head that they have to walk around all day. That's not me, right? I have sunshine rays and lollipops and Bitcoin bull markets indicators. They need to amend it for stablecoin payout. Yeah, I mean, agreed. It's on institutions, though, isn't it? That's the thing. You still get it from like Ethereum staking, but okay. Let's get into a little bit more nuance and then let's get into all your questions, all your thoughts, all your views. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and smash up that like button to a brand new all-time high. It would be very much well received here on the channel, so I appreciate you guys. Right, Bitcoin OG selling drops sharply as Bitcoin breaks above major resistance level. This is something I talked about yesterday. Eventually, the selling stops. All right? Now, that could be at the bottom of the bear market. That could be at the top of the bull market. That could be mid-term, whatever it is. But essentially here, what we're seeing on this graph, we are seeing a decline in OG Bitcoin sellers, which is good. Like these would be people, and this is the way that markets go up in value. I mean, I don't know if you saw, S&P broke 7,000 today, everybody. 7,000 on the S&P. Like what, bro? Retraced a little bit back, interesting enough, but yeah, broke 7,000. Absolutely freaking insane that we did that. Likewise, though, gold and silver selling off a little bit as Trump unveiled a lot of the tariff announcements, you know, removing tariffs on Taiwan. Pretty interesting strategic move, if you ask me. But another one, good one, the Russell skyrocketing tells us risk is certainly on a trader's agenda. So think about that. But yeah, Bitcoin OG whales essentially are selling less, right? Good news, okay? Because this is the rotation of capital that you need to see. This is why we talk about ladders as price goes up. People that got in at 1,000 that sell at 10,000 are then the people that get in at 8 and go to 16. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. And that's how you see it go up. So you want to see, you know, these Bitcoin OG whalers maybe were people that got in at 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is. Just made those numbers up, but you can get that kind of principle whenever these OG whales stop. And eventually, and I've got another chart for you that sort of will reiterate the point here, which is the cost term basis right now. These are short-term buyers that got in. This essentially is telling us that the short-term buyers cost basis is 98K. So take the peak, short-term holders that have come in. Where do you get to? You get to $98,000. So at the minute, the vast majority would be underwater based on that number, which is, again, hopefully a slightly more optimistic view of where we're going to go. If we pass 98K, then, that's why like 99 to 100K is going to be really, really difficult, because this will be the point where people are just sat there going, man, I shouldn't have bought it at 99,000. I'm such a noob. The minute it gets to 100K, they go, boom, sell it, and then they're out. We'll definitely see that. So expect quite a few retests, quite a few attempts to break 100,000 if we get to that point. My view, the next, what would you say, 2 weeks are probably important. So if we look at data suggested over the next 2 weeks, that could give us an idea. And what we're looking for here, we're looking for anything that's going to put money back in people's pockets. So anything that's going to make the US consumer feel better about it. Anything that's going to make their money go further. Because if they've got money to spare, they're more likely to invest in it, right? At the same time, what is going to bring things down? Because that will mean that they spend less or they have to pay less to live. And these are all good news, okay? So what are those things we're looking for? Well, let's take a look at some of the data. We have the Federal Reserve interest rate decision coming next week. Well, the 28th, so the week after, by the way. So not a lot coming next week, pretty quiet next week. But the 28th, Federal Reserve, that's a big one, isn't it? We then go into PPI coming on Friday, January 30th. So by that point, we then get the ISM Feb 2nd. So by February the 2nd, we'll have had a decision on interest rates. We'll have had a view on producer price index, which will essentially be what Trump's working on in trying to bring that down. And then we're going to have the ISM number. So what's the bear case? What's the bull case? Bear case would be no rate cuts. A miss on PPI, it gets worse, would tell us that tariffs are having a bigger effect, that costs are not coming down. That will eventually roll over and be going to the consumer index. People have less money. And then you get to the ISM manufacturer that is yet again another decline, right? That would be bearish case. That way you probably go, you're into February and we'll probably need some insane bullish catalyst trying to get us up. What's the bull case? I mean, there's probably a bull case A and a bull case B. Bull case A is they cut rates by 25 basis points, citing that the labor market is still weakening and they are projecting forward to stop the risk of further layoffs. You then get a beat on PMPI, i.e. costs have come down, feels bullish. And then you get an ISM manufacturing number that comes in at 50.01 or whatever it is, right? They would be like super bull cases. The other bull case would be no rate cuts, dovish Jerome Powell, and then a beat on PPI and a beat on ISM. Very far-fetched, but you get the point. The day will come that 2-bit will burp and a crypto token name, and that token will go to the moon. Let's hope so, bro. Let's hope so. We're working hard to try and make sure we do it. If Powell cuts rates in January, Trump goes under his... I mean, that is true. And I think based on what he put out on that statement, he won't do it just out of spite. Because at the minute, what's the risk? What's the risk, really? Does anyone know if the USA is still invested in Bitcoin? So they aren't buying any. But Kathy Wood said, caught my video talking about that they may or they certainly could be in for an agenda. Now, I talked about this earlier. Russell 2000 hits a new all-time high after the US Open index up 7%. Remember, Russell Index is valuing the 2,000 mid to small cap coins. It's essentially an indicator of risk on or risk off in the traditional markets. What we can say here is that the Russell skyrocketing tells us there is an appetite for risk in the traditional stock market. What's going on, Prince of Blocks? Good to see you, man. It's been a minute. Welcome back. Welcome back. So again, this is a good indicator. The trouble you've got, though, is that people are obviously going into the Russell and not then, going full on porting into BTC. I mean, interestingly, 95,400 is a better indicator that we're going to come back. We'll take a look at the pre-markets as we always do. What's going on with crypto? 2-bit matey. What's going on, Fairground? They delayed the market structure bill because Coinbase pulled out. That's kind of what they did. So, yeah. Anyway. Good. All right. What else we got going on? Look at this. I thought this was pretty interesting and could be an indicator that I actually posted on this. That could be an indicator that normies, and I use the terminology normie as people that don't own crypto, right? Might be about to come to the market. Think about this. In an exciting development, this is Tom Lee, by the way. For BitMine, investing $200 million into Mr. Beast Industries. We're excited to welcome Tom Lee and BitMine as new investors into Beast Industries, joining our current top-tier venture investors. Are they going to go into Bitcoin? Maybe. All right. Maybe. If Beast gets in, you know, we could see some normies coming in, which would be interesting. Pepe is king. Pepe is down about 10% today. So I do like Pepe as a meme, but yeah, it got punished, as did the meme coin market today, by the way. But yeah, I mean, Mr. Beast may be coming hot right now into the crypto market, which would be pretty crazy. If Powell cuts rates, it's because he's been a very naughty boy. I mean, that's also true. That would be very, very true. So yeah, good news. Good news on this one, all right? Keep your eyes peeled on this for sure. Hopefully that does work out and we actually get like, you know, Mr. Beast. I hope he doesn't launch a meme coin though. That would be just not cool. Right, okay, a couple of other things going on. Major financial firm CME Group is launching futures contracts for 3 altcoins, which is going to be interesting. They previously launched them for XRP, Ethereum, and Solana. So good news, they are now launching them for Cardano, Chainlink, and Stellar Lumens. What I always find interesting here is they always launch stuff like this when markets are terrible. You think about the last ones, they were like, oh, the CME have gone live with that with XRP, Ethereum, and the market was like 12% down or something. Absolute freaking disaster. Anyway, good news, CME Group coming in, obviously starting to, you know, derivative markets, pretty interesting. Hopefully that's a benefit longer term. So yeah, hopefully fingers crossed. Thanks for all the follows, by the way, on TikTok. You guys are boss. Appreciate it. Don't forget, if you want to just make yourself feel a little bit better, just tap the screen, lock a couple of likes in. Likewise here on YouTube as well. Give us a quick subscribe, quick thumbs up. We'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate it. All right, good. Also, by the way, let me know in the comments what you think. Chatty live streams apparently do better, both on TikTok and on YouTube as well. So get your questions in, get your thoughts in, get your comments. You know, I want to know what you guys think of all of this stuff, right? It's a two-way group, this. The two-way group. So, yeah, good news. Right, Ripple. Huge new partnership with Ripple. Pretty interesting here. The cryptocurrency behind XRP. They once again have signed a multi-strategic partnership with LMAX. All right, $150 million funding supporting LMAX's long-term cross-asset growth strategy. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't done a lot of research into the LMAX group. I don't know who they really are at this minute, but you better believe I've got to have video coming out for you guys later on about it. They are shaping the future of global FX markets and digital assets. Interesting. So an exchange. What's LMAX Global? Let's see what it is. All right. So they're, oh, okay. So LMAX Global offers brokers and professional traders around the world access to deep institutional FX liquidity, tight spreads, and transparent, precise execution with no last lock rejections. Interesting. All right. I see here. Oh, all right. Who wants to put a tinfoil hat on and go down a bit of a route here? You up for it? I feel like I'm up for it. Let me know if you're up for it in the chat. Who wants to go and put tinfoil hats on and go down a rabbit hole and see where we end up? I'm down for it, by the way, with LMAX. Let's do a little bit of fundamental. Let's do some fundamental analysis on LMAX right now. Who's up for it? Who's up for it? Come on, all like 30. Let's do it. Love a tinfoil hat. Let's get it, mouse. Let's get it. Okay, so look, interesting enough, they track commodities. That's interesting, isn't it? So lots of currencies they're tracking. They trade on all sorts around here as well. So look, they have some pretty interesting things. Deliverable FX. They also trade perpetual futures, BTC. So you've got Ripple integrating with a company that trades currency markets and commodity markets and crypto markets. Interesting. What is their, let's see if we can bring up, just out of interest. Oh, here we go. So LMAX company finance, primary finance, available. It's a UK-based company? No. Is it really? Is it? LMAX Global. LMAX Limited. LMAX. Oh, here we are. Investor. Oh, here we are. This is what I want to see. Oh, I've got it. Oh, I don't want to see this. This is what I want to see. I got it. Perfect. Perfect. Let's take a look at the LMAX 2024 annual report. This could be pretty interesting. Let's see what they are. What have we got? So, compound annual growth. So, they were up last year on 15% on volume, 21% on revenue. Holy shit. $191 million in revenue with a $190 million gross profit. Oh my God. That's insane. Look at this. Client held assets, $730 million. That's up 27% on the last year in 2023. EBITDA, $101 million on the EBITDA. Oh my God. This company is insane. Look at this. 630. The only reason I run with EBITDA, the company I work for, 638% on EBITDA. These people are out of their minds right now with $6.5 trillion in trading volume. Wow. Wow. This is not what I expected to read when I saw this. So cross-asset marketplace, TradFi digital assets, custody and tokenization. That's interesting. Buy-side access, FX swaps, FX NDFs, and price check on diversified FX offerings. Man, this company looks insane. All-time high annual volumes of 4.9 trillion is 8.9% higher than the previous years. And then financial highlights. So we talked about that. What else do they have on here? Risk governance, risk management. Let's take a quick look on this. Let's just post balance sheet event. Oh, here we want to look at page 84, cash and cash equivalents. That's what we want to look at. How much money have these companies got? That's what we're bothered about. 84. Oh, here we go. 84. Where is page 84? 81, 80. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Cash equivalents. So 2024, they had $2.9 billion. Is that 2.9 billion? So it'd be 2,912,000. No, yeah, 2.9 million on their balance sheet. That's actually down from 23 in fairness. 1.5 million there. So yeah, so trade and other assets. Here we go, look. So $68 million in 2024. So they've got an absolute crap ton of money on their balance sheet. Holy shit. Like, wow. That's pretty insane, actually. How much debt have they got? Depreciation charge of risk on repayments. Okay, so they've got $734,000 of repayments. Probably going to go up. So it's probably going to be nearly £1 million a year. It's not the end of the world, is it? Accrued interest 186. So their total expectation on payments back out is around 3.3 million. Yeah, 3.3. Is that? I think so. 3.3 million, which is down. So they are repaying some of it off. Where are they repaying it off out of, by the way? So they took it more in repayment. So they must have financed a little bit more debt here. Undisclosed lease liabilities looks pretty solid. That's coming down as well. So they have got a little bit of debt, by the way. Not super crazy amounts, but yeah. Wow. I mean, this looks like an insane company, doesn't it? I mean, Jesus Christ, they've got an absolute crap ton of volume going through them. They've got massive amounts of money on their balance sheet. They're trading all the kind of stuff that you want. I wonder if it asked you approximate monthly deposit income, approximate value of savings. Okay, tax information. Wow, pretty interesting, eh? Pretty interesting. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, Ripple partnering with those guys, probably a good news story. They're going to announce that RUSD will be offered through LMAX custody and will operate with a decoupled wallet mechanism. The structure will allow clients flexibility to allocate their collateral among different asset classes within the LMAX ecosystem. Interesting. Mini Boss says, Consolidate. I am still teasing you. What? I don't know what that means. Okay. Interesting. Ripple would be. I've got my bacon foil hat on. Good tomato pit. Love it. Ripple could literally be the biggest money transfer system in the world if things go to plan. I mean, that's true in fairness. I mean, it's a great partnership by the looks of it. I would argue it's a pretty good partnership. And certainly when you look at that company, LMAX looks wild. 6.5 trillion a year is no small change. And then finally, look at this. The Ethereum chart turns bullish. Go Ethereum. So many people are writing Ethereum off right now. The new cycle energy points to $5,000. Ethereum maybe to potentially giving it as a breakout here. Bullish pen and pattern with momentum and actually with the upgrades and everything else coming. Do not sleep on ETH. I've been saying this for a long, long time. But yeah, very interesting. We need to get markets come with us. Dead easy to chuckle, wild price analysis out there. But yeah, hopefully ETH is looking more bullish than ever. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get an upside momentum push on ETH. All right, good. That's the news. That's what I've got for you guys. If you want to take a look at anything in DeFi, let me know. If you bought anything, let me know. Let's take a look at the coin. If you want to take a look at some charts. Someone was asking about a chart earlier on, but I can't remember what it was. Anyone remember? I can't remember. Oh, what am I doing here? Here we go. There we go. And don't forget, by the way, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We massively appreciate it. It does help out the channel. Like I said, we're here every single day, grinding as hard as we possibly can, trying to keep you guys absolutely dialed in to the market. So I would appreciate the support. Again, don't forget, check out the links in the description. If you want to go and trade your favorite cryptocurrencies, check out the link to Bitunix. Also, don't forget, jump in the Discord. It's a cool community. And like I said, we've got rid of all of the like cheats and all of the like people that just have no interest, because you have to verify your account. If you don't verify your account, which is dead simple, you don't get in, which is good. All right. And, you know, so many people don't do it, but at the same time, you know, we just tell like people just join it and then they don't do anything and they all get kicked out, which is great. And actually it feels like we've got way less stuff going on in there, which is kind of nice as well. So yeah, I am bullish on all that stuff. And like I said, we called some great trade alerts, some good TA, and obviously the bot's working overtime as well to make sure that we know what we're getting involved in. So it's great. It's the best community out there, and I highly recommend joining it for sure. All right, and I would technically, because it's mine. Right, let's do it. Let's get into it. Coinbase is a shit exchange even before this. I mean, yeah. Do you know when you convert crypto back to your native currency, there's like a fee you have to pay. And if you unstake and you want instant unstaking, they charge you a fee as well. Everything is fee-based with Coinbase. Everything. If you're prepared to wait, it's fine. Can you please take a look at White Whale? Yeah. White Whale. Oh, I sold what I had. I got out of it. I lost a little bit on that as well, to be fair. But yeah, I heard quite a bit of, there was a few people, because someone else launched a, like, is it like the Whale Guru or something? Launched something as well. They're both just like absolutely power tanked, aren't they? Right, which one is it? This one, isn't it? So yeah, 90 milli. So this has lost $110 million market cap. Now, if you were ever curious, by the way, I think I got in about here. This is where I bought. So I bought on this uptrend. I didn't sell anything, in fairness, and I ended up selling about here. I was like, yeah, I'm out of this. But you can pretty much sell. I got in. This is the day I got in. Look, and obviously it's just gone down ever since I got in. So, you know, don't follow me. Follow me on trades. Like, that feels like it's working. Don't follow me on any DeFi meme coin players at the minute, because I just can't seem to get them. I've been thinking I should buy some Coinbase shares. Mouse, interesting. A few people have actually said that. Upall is so much better than Coinbase. Yeah, I could see that. I got some Canton and more Zebek tonight. Yeah, Blue, I took a trade on Canton because I thought it was on the 20-day EMA, and I thought, yeah, that'll be a nice little push. I actually had a nice little run today as well, Canton. I still think it's got a good upside move potentially as well. Share Ripple, but no, but I have a few XRP. Nice, Mouse. Nice. So, yeah, interesting on this one. White Whale, pretty flat. AWP coin. AWP. This one? What is this? It's got a market cap of 13K. This can't be what you want me to look at, right? No way. No way. Is it a full crypto? What do we call it one? There's another one called Black Whale that I started moving, thinking of jumping in it. All right, well, let's take a look at it in a second. I mean, yeah, I mean, the narrative is, I mean, don't get me wrong, that White Whale was wild, by the way. Is it? Oh, is this one? Okay. I mean, I don't even know what it is. Yo, can we get AMP coin? AMP. I thought you said AWP. Is that? Oh, no, you said AMP. Sorry. My bad. My bad. AMP coin. I don't even know what this is. What is it at? $181 million market cap. Wow. Wow. Although with anything like this, you normally check them out and they've got like the worst looking chart in the history of mankind. And this one looks like it's no different. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yep. I'm only giving you my personal opinion, by the way. I'm only giving my personal opinion, but as a non-holder of this particular coin, there ain't no way I'd be buying this coin right now. Look at it. It's terrible. Terrible. Again, though, it depends. If you're scalping it, if you're getting it at the bottom end, then fair play. You know, if you bought this dip here, then fine. Like, you're crushing it right now. But, I mean, overall, it looks absolutely awful. I heard AMP has some good connections. But it needs some looking at that chart. I'm like, hold AMP, it pumps before everything else. I mean, in fairness, like, if you can grab a trade on it, but, I mean, there's no way I'd be looking. That's not a long-term trade by any stretch. It's doing 10K in volume on 181 million market cap. The thing about both Coinbase and Upall is you must use debit card for immediate transfer your external wallet. A lot of people get hung up because they didn't use debit cards. The best way to do it, and this is not me telling you what to do, by the way, but I have a specific debit card that is linked to all my crypto stuff That's it. It's just one card. It's separate to like my normal bank account. It's separate to anything that me and my missus have. It's literally just an account that is used for in and out of crypto markets. That's it. Curtis says that's how Flair looks, though I'm bullish. True. Thoughts on Jasmine? I mean, Jasmine was doing well. Jasmine was having a nice little run. It's cooled off a little bit. What I think is important, though, is it's still holding this support line that we've done and shows that Jasmine can have a run. The only frustration here is it's pretty much given most of the gains up that we saw on this pump, which is disappointing. Now, if we were to turn bullish tomorrow, markets feel a little bit more optimistic. The actual technicals here are still pretty solid. 20-day above the 50, which is good news, still within this wedge pattern. So we might get a breakout. We do need the coins and we do need the market to come with us. Yeah. So I still hold Jasmine. I haven't sold any Jasmine. I'm underwater on Jasmine. I don't have the biggest bag in the world, but yeah, I'm still holding on to it. I mean, altcoins got demolished today, like demolished, which is kind of wild. But yeah, what do you think about DeFi coins like Uniswap? Did you ask me that yesterday? I think they're okay, but there's no intrinsic value to them outside of the hope of getting rev share, which I think if you're going to do that, Pump's probably a better decision maker, or Bonk, for example, versus Uniswap. Uniswap's probably a bit more stable, but I don't think they do anything with the coin. I don't know if it's I don't think it's even a governance coin anymore. It's just there. People hold it with a view of it might one day give rev share back to holders, but if they were going to do it, they'd have done it by now, and I just don't think they are. I mean, where is it at right now? Where is it? Uniswap. So 528. Its volume is probably naff. It's down 8% on the day. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, the alt season that barely ever happened. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, if I'm honest. But yeah, so volume is down 269 million. So this is the thing. What is the point in holding Uniswap? Like, there's no benefit other than is what it is. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Monad last night on the TikTok live with Vern and Mr. Non-Fungible. I still like Monad. I actually was looking at a potential buy, but I think it probably comes down a little bit lower. And again, for me, it's all about where this market's going to go. You know, the last thing I want to do is go into the market, come out of stablecoin, and then the market dumps, and you're like, oh, bruh. But I think once they start getting their ecosystem online and more dexes and more perp trade go online, Monad's probably one to keep your eyes on, in my opinion. Humble opinion, by the way. I'm big on Flare. I mean, look, Flare is that FXRP giving yield on the people staking XRPs. Good. I like Flare. I do like it. Again, another one, though, that you got to hope it's a multi-cycle coin. Amazing that silver is at $92. I bought most of my 3K ounces at silver around 12 and less than 0.50. Oh, bro, you're crushing it then on the silver. It came down a little bit today, but still at 9. Oh, it's on the way back up there now. 92. Look at that. You know, wick down to 86 and then starts to push back up as out. Oh my God, I can't speak. Out of hours markets actually feel a little bit more bullish. I mean, BTC's moving decent, by the way, which is good. I still think today, by the way, was profit taking. I was going to show you this. I tweeted it out, in fairness. So again, that's why you should follow me on X as well. But I tweeted the fact that this wasn't institutional selling. This was just profit taking, in my opinion. BlackRock, for all that they're, for all that we pin a lot at them and hold them to probably a higher level of account in terms of what they're doing. They have been buying like madmen today. Look at this. Look at all the buys coming in. These are all like 13 million, 28, 28, 28, 5, 28, 28, 28, 28, 28, 28, 28, 28. You think I haven't glitched? These are all $28 million buys on BlackRock today. I mean, look at them. It's insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 at 28 million. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 buys at $28 million. $672 million they bought, which is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. If you ask me. Hold on. Divide that by 95. Yeah, 7,000-ish Bitcoin they bought today. Like, think about it. It's absolutely crazy. Crazy. And then when you look at in terms of their ETFs as well, the ETFs were big inflows. Now, I actually think those ETF inflows were from yesterday, which a lot of people don't agree with me on that, but I think they were because, look at the amount of buying they've got there. If you look at data for ETFs, for example, on BlackRock's IBIT, Like, they bought big, and I think they will buy more as well tomorrow, which is kind of wild. So yeah, look at this. This gives you an overall view, but look, inflows are insane. Today, yesterday was as big a day as we've had on inflows since October of last year. And I think today will be bigger. I think there'll be more buying, which is kind of crazy to think about. But, you know, look at some of these like insane moves. BlackRock, total net inflows, $75 billion. You can't see it in terms of what it looked like, but, you know, that just gives you a bit of an idea. But if you look at it in a bit more detail, BlackRock were going big, like big, which is wild. So yesterday, look at that, insane, $840 million of inflows into ETFs yesterday. We said, didn't we? 648 milli. That was the demand that came in for those ETFs yesterday. They're the buys we've got coming in. And then look, 6646, massive amounts of BTC buying here on BlackRock. That's an insane amount of BTC that they bought. So yeah, watch out for those wallets because they may come and buy some more. Hey, let's hope they do. Fingers crossed. All right. Fingers crossed. Okay, good. Right, let's close that down. So anyway, questions, thoughts, opinions, let us know, everybody. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Athena, man, so many people talk about Athena. So many people talk about it. They've got some really good staking rewards. I don't own any, in fairness. I haven't really ever looked into the ecosystem as well, but I know a lot of people are pretty bullish on it. Crypto war. So I was tempted to buy a big bar of silver, but I was concerned it would do nothing and would get stuck with it. Yeah. The silver was the trade of the year. There's Flare. Look, Flare's at 1 cent. That's interesting. Junction JCT is a little bit today. Harry's the CEO. Yeah, I mean, it all links back to Jasmy, doesn't it? The Junction stuff was pretty good. And don't forget, Jasmy's on the Ethereum chain as well. Oh, another thing on the Ethereum chain. Let's go. Nice, don't sell too early. I mean, that's Curtis. That's a pretty good logic in fairness. I'm regular single viewer, brah. There's 17 people in here right now. There's 17 in TikTok and there's 100 on YouTube, so it's fine. Good. All right. Well, that gives us the market. Yeah, no one talks. That's the thing. People just are a bit quiet. So just post a question. Let's get chatting. Has XRP locked crept over 800 milli today? I don't think so. Let's have a look. No, just shy. 795.39 million. Most of my stocks are connected to my crypto. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. I mean, stocks, maybe. I mean, since coming out of that market, like I said, I used to do dividend stocks, but I don't do anything anymore. And I actually looked at one of the stocks I used to own. I don't even know if it's still a thing. I actually don't even know what it's about, but I got into Cineworld that got totally wrecked. And I got Pendragon Motor Group. That was actually, it turned out to be a pretty good trade. This is years back now. But yeah, Pendragon Motor Group is it still a thing? Oh yeah, it's still a thing. It's like fast cars and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it did all right in fairness. It did all right for me. But since then, I don't do anything in the stock market. I don't have the time. I can't be bothered. Cool. I'm a trader. Nice. Bro, see me your Lambo. I don't own a Lambo. Don't own one, mate. I can't make it. Can't make it in this game, unfortunately. I've been trying. But I can't make it. Oh, let's have a look at it. What's it called? Black Whale. Let's take a look. Black Whale on ETH. I mean, the fact that there's so many of them that are down. Market cap, which one is it? This 2.8 million one, I'm assuming. Liquidity is 259. Yeah, it must be this one. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so I mean, if it gets a bounce from here, the only thing you've got to be mindful of is whenever you see a pattern like this has got some sort of volume bot trading on it. So be mindful of that. But, I mean, I don't like this here. This isn't great. Top holder holds 5%, about 140k, followed by another holder. 1 day, 2 bit, 1 day. Mouse. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. So, token creator wallet. I mean, what was the deployer wallet for this particular coin? Does anyone know? Audit. I mean, its audit's pretty good in fairness, but yeah. Bro will show his Lambo when BTC stood again. You know it. You know it. I'll be like flexing the Lambo. 42-year-old dad of 3 just crushing the Lambo. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. I'm assuming Trump will throw everything he can at the market so they can put... Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff coming down the line for that. Loads of stuff. Like, he's going, like, super crazy pump markets like you wouldn't believe. Like, yeah, stimulus checks. That's why I think the whole Venezuela thing is... Now, I genuinely did think he was going to go into Iran last night. I genuinely thought he was going to go into Iran last night. But, yeah, he didn't, which is interesting. But... yeah, he's really going to push to drive markets. So from car loans to, even the thing around 10% max on credit card repayments. Like, think about that. Like, you can get like 30, 40, 50% APRs on some of them. Just puts money back into people's pockets. Like, it's kind of wild if you think about it. It's kind of wild if you think about it. Lambo. Yeah, it's getting Urus. Is it an Urus? They're all right, isn't it? But... yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting as he does it. And it's all tied back to that tariff revenue that we talked about yesterday. Don't like the look on the charts? Yeah, no, red's not great, is it? Red's not great. But yeah, this all ties back to the $600 billion of revenue generated from tariffs that he's like, hey, I'm going to put it into the American people's pockets. Why? Because then I can leverage that against the Supreme Court. But yeah, he's on about doing that. He's on about doing stuff with mortgage rates. Obviously, they've dropped down. He's on about doing like all sorts. All sorts. Let's, in fact, let me just get this stuff up. Let's just talk facts here. Right. If the oil market's dumped, does that normally have a positive impact on crypto? Well, yeah, because you're paying less in theory. I mean, they dumped today on the back of Trump not going into Iran. So look at the price of oil. It absolutely tanked by about 2.5%. Look at that. This was when it was like, yep, we're not striking Iran. So it was like, oh, thank God for that. Like, oil's flowing again. But yeah, oil's pushing down. But yeah, generally speaking, oil down means less cost. Less cost. So yeah. So here's some of the things for Trump. Mortgage market supports a lower housing costs. Ordered $200 billion of purchase of mortgage-backed securities. So that's essentially going to mean that market gets a little bit of a boost. Proposed cap on credit card interest rates, tariff-fueled rebate checks, tax cuts, which he obviously wants to do, the big beautiful bill, so no tax on tips. Like, think about it. I looked at this chart the other day. U.S. service industry percentage. Like, you look at, like, the service industry in the US is massive. So look at this. The service industry is a major percentage of most modern economies, often representing 70 to 80% more of GDP and employment. Like, think about that. It's insane. It's insane. So no tax on tips is actually a pretty big deal for the service sector, particularly in the US as well. So that's going to be a big stimulus. Deregulation and efficiency initiatives, again, rolling back on consumers and on firms, again, making sure that they can build out businesses, broadly hire, all that kind of good stuff. The tariff stuff, trade and tariff strategies continues. Economic context and debate, which is all about tax cuts, deregulation, and targeted policies. Basically, Trump's economic strategy is a mix of consumer-focused interventions and classic conservative supply-side policies. Tax cuts, deregulation, get rid of anything that's eco-friendly. So yeah, I mean, all these are like bullish for markets. Bullish. We just don't need to see the markets dump more. Pretty wild how crypto has made so many people who were previously not knowledgeable about finance are now so savvy. I mean, look, I would never profess to say that I'm in any way, shape, or form like clued up on it or anything. The only thing I would say is, yeah, I study really hard in terms of like new things like charts, economic policy. Like, if you'd have asked me 5 years ago, what is US CPI? I'd have been like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Whereas now, going through those every month, we can read the CPI report. We can track trends. Like I say, we've been pretty much on the money recently. So what you got to be careful of, I think, is where you get people that don't try and understand it, that aren't prepared to, take some feedback or views. Like, that's what I mean. I always welcome anyone's opinion of my shows and me, and like, I'm cool with that. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, isn't it? In my opinion. So you think if Trump dumps a lot of cheap oil, what would happen to crypto? I mean, in theory, it will go up because people are going to pay less. You got to make sure, though. You've got to make sure, though, that it goes from producer to consumer. And that's the tricky part. Think about it. The consumer price index is coming down. Producer price index is going up. That will only sustain for a certain period of time before goods are passed on. I was actually in a meeting at where I work, and one of the questions was posed of, should we pass some inflation on to the consumer? And the argument was, well, yeah, we're going to have to. So, yeah, no tax on overtime as well, which is kind of crazy. I knew nothing beforehand. Yeah, I know, it's wild, isn't it? But you know what they say? It's always, forewarned is forearmed. And in my opinion, this is why I love the live streams so much, because we can just dive into stuff. We can get into things. We can work it through together. We actually, from the channel, paid for about 12 people to do a full technical analysis course as well. And I think, depending on where the channel goes and depending on where this bull market and bear market sits out, I want to put some people through financial advisor courses, not to become financial advisors, because that would be insane, but it'd be cool if we had people that actually can really get into nuances of financial advice, or, can really get into what that could look like. I don't know how much it is, but, and I don't mean like a crappy Udemy course. I mean like a proper course. So here we go. Look, the cost to become a financial advisor varies, ranging from a few £100s for basic certification to over $2,000 for advanced diplomas like a CISI diploma, plus extra fees, potentially adding 1,000 more degrees. I mean, we're not going degrees, but yeah, three and a half, four. Be cool to just get that. $1,200 to $2,000, put 3 people through it, 6K, become financial advisors. I mean, imagine how good that would be. You can become a financial advisor counselor in the Discord. What's your thoughts on Labour, digital ID, backpedaling, and what can we expect? I think it's good news. I think the reason they backpedaled on it is because what they sold it as wasn't true. It was never going to be about stopping small boats. Never. Like, you're naive if you believe that was the case. But I think there was so much pressure, because the debate is why would you need digital ID if you've got a passport or a driving license? Like, why do you need it? So yeah, I don't think it has much of an effect, because I'd love to know what the sentiment is around the UK government right now, but I feel like it's not great. So I don't think it has too much of a problem, really. It means crypto's going to the moon. So basically, the Clarity Act that Coinbase read it and shared about the stablecoins. Yeah, but in the right guys, I think. In the right guys, because imagine they'd have passed it, and then all of a sudden, you can't earn rewards on your stablecoins. Everyone would have been like, why is this bill being passed? Like, what the heck? Like, come on, bro. Really? Really? So, yeah, I mean, look, for me, as long as it doesn't take about 5 million years to come back to Congress, fine. And it'll be a moving feast. The only thing for me is, when was that legislation changed? When was that wording changed? Like, was it changed yesterday? And then yesterday morning, then Coinbase like, nah. Or has it been there for a while? Because if it has, you're like, feels a little bit more deliberate here than maybe not. It's all a big cat and mouse game, isn't it? And sometimes, like we always say on the channel, you've just got to win your little corner of the world. Don't try and win the whole game. Just win the little bit. I mean, piss to the TradFi for sure. Yeah. 100%, Roma. Yeah. Right. That they tried to get that in. Well, we know the banks were lobbying for a while, weren't we? The banks were like, no, this is ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to offer 5% of USDC. Like, they're not regulated. They're not financially regulated. Like, it's all a big scam. And you're like, you literally lend out 90% of every pound that's put into the bank. Like, what are you talking about? It was all changed over the weekend, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, though, it's like, man, we changed it with literally a couple of days. Elizabeth Warren and Jamie Dimon changed the bill. Can you imagine if that was true? I know Elizabeth Warren did send a letter to the SEC, didn't she? Saying, you need to get your ass in. And that's probably the thing. There's a lot of heat on it. I'm just surprised, because I thought there was way more bullish. It was just the White House comments on President Trump's talking about canceling midterm elections. Oh my God. He can be. I mean, again, I'm not invested in terms of how he runs the US, other than if it affects the markets or not. But I mean, he is a bit of a troll. Like, you can't deny it. I just wondered if there was anything that was debated at the press conference with Caroline Levitt about the market structure bill, but it doesn't look like it. If I'm honest, it doesn't look like it. Semiconductors. Yeah. Yeah, not a lot, unfortunately. Politicians work for the banks, 100%. Of course they do. Everyone, if you think about it, everyone works for the banks, which is why they don't like the crypto market, but everyone works for the banks. You go to work, you do your 9 to 5 job, you make sure the bank gets your money. That's the thing. We pay for them to look after our money. We pay for them to hold our money, and then they just make money off our money. It's insane. It's insane. That's why I don't, and again, I'm not telling anyone what to do, by the way. It's your money, you make the decisions. But I am very much not a bank person. What do you think about the astronauts back from the space? Is that the one that they were ill on the International Space Station or something? I saw something about somebody was ill, or that they were ill and they had to come back, I think is what I saw. One thing you can guarantee about Trump is he will do what financially benefits him, and if it benefits some of the general public, we grab what we can. I mean, that's probably true. I don't think, though. I mean, what's his net worth right now? What's Trump's net worth? Anyone know? Forbes assessed wealth currently estimated around 5.1 billion as of early June 2025. So, I mean, he doesn't, like, in theory, he doesn't need any more. Bloomberg now estimates his wealth to be around $7 billion. There we go. Yeah, illness. Yeah, I thought it was. They were the pie for themselves. Crypto needs just a few slices. Exactly. Bitunix, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you, man. Well, I mean, look, we're getting a little bit of a relief bounce here on the markets. We're probably looking at maybe 95A. I mean, it'd be nice to break 96. That gets us back above the 20-day EMA right now. At the same time, though, you go, well, on the daily, it's just not the end of the world, is it? We've seen way bigger corrections than that. It's still a macro uptrend. We're still all right. Alt's got, slammed, but yeah. Mouse, I wish. Anyway, folks, with that does bring us to the end of the live stream. We've been live now an hour and 20 minutes. As always, bullish with you guys. And again, I always say, imagine what this would look like if this was my job. If we were doing this, we'd be live streaming twice a day, videos out. How do you get that? And how do you support that? Give us a little thumbs up, comment, all that good stuff. We massively appreciate it. Watch a video, all of that if you could. Again, it massively helps out the channel. It's never expected. But do jump into the Discord, link in my bio, also in the description. If you want to get in there, just come and join the community. It's super cool. Loads of good people in there. If you want a little bit more, by the way, you can grab a channel membership. Just go at the bottom of the screen where you would hit subscribe, click join. It's about $6 a month. Gets you access to our Discord group with two bots in there that can bring up smart contracts. They can look at DeFi. They can give you a view on the markets. They can bring up trending coins, all of that good stuff, as well as trade setups and our full learn to trade guide on indicators and strategies. Get all that. It's $6 a month. It's an absolute steal. So if you're interested in all of that, do head over there, grab yourself a channel membership, and I'll be back tomorrow, as always, same time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. in the UK. Don't miss it. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you guys back here tomorrow. Thanks so much. Take care.